Good evening, welcome to Success in the City. My name's Helen Webster. I'm with the lovely
Sandra Scott, and our fabulous guests today are
Mel Bretewans from DSL.
And Claire Creer, also from DSL.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. So DSL is Down Syndrome Liverpool, and it's really, really cool because today is World Down Syndrome Day. So lots of people will be rocking the socks, so they'll be wearing odd socks. And there's reasons behind the odd socks, and there's reasons behind why it's the 21st of March. But I'm gonna let you both explain that as we go a little bit further on, okay? But just to make everybody aware that it is World Down Syndrome Day, so it's dead cool that we've got you guys on for this day. So I'm like that excited for that. We celebrate the kids, any young people doing amazing things, okay? I'm going to shout out first. So they're not really young. They're quite like grown-up young people, okay? And I'm going to shout out to Amy Ellenson, who is the big sister of our beautiful Ben, who's been on a few times, and to Ellis Penman, and they've both passed their driving tests.
Oh, well done.
So they're just going to be mum and dad's taxis. Woo! So yeah, payback. So big congratulations to them. They are big, but they're like little big ones. So yeah. And what about you, San?
Just a little shout out. I went to Marie's house for dinner with her mother-in-law and husband, which was all in Italian, which was lovely. And her mother-in-law's over from Italy, made this amazing meal. And the kids were good as gold, and they all went off to bed nice and easy, so we could just sit and have a chat, which I really appreciated, and it was lovely. So shout out to Marie Vick's kids, Ginevra, Raf, and Luca.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Mel, do you want to go first, or Claire, do you want to go first?
I don't mind going first if that's all right, Claire.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I've got two shout outs. So my two shout outs will be for my two boys. So Bobby, age 5, and Eddie, close 2. So Bobby this last week has decided to demonstrate how we can independently sit during meal times. Claire, you will understand more, but for some people it doesn't seem like a big deal for him to be able to just sit there, even for a couple of minutes, and eat some beans, eat some spaghetti hoops, a yogurt, anything, because he'd usually have to be in a chair where he's kind of strapped in. But he just literally this last week he's been able to sit there independently on his own and eat his dinner. Don't get me wrong, we do get like the little interval of the Bobby dance in between, so he will kind of have a few spoons, stand up, and he'll do a little dance, which is fine, it's more entertaining, and then he'll sit back down. But yeah, that is like big achievements for me this week. Also my 1-year-old, almost 2, Eddie, he's been fab this week, just like matching colours, matching animals in a little book and stuff like that. And I think even though he's nearly 2, I go, he's still only 1 though. How is he able to do this? It's mad. It blows my mind. But sometimes I think it's about celebrating a little small things, isn't it? It's all very important. And yeah, like the last week, I'm impressed. But yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Big shout out to the 2 boys.
Fantastic.
Well done. Yeah. What about you, Claire?
Again, it's a personal one. So my 2 little girls, my eldest, Mary Kate, she's 6. She's, Mel, she's a very quiet, shy little girl. She's kind of trying to raise awareness of Down syndrome all by herself in her school. So she regularly talks about Down syndrome and what it is, and it's the only thing she'll really talk about publicly because she's passionate about it and it's important to her, and that's the life she's living. She put forward to her head teacher an idea to raise money for DSL and another charity for autism as well. And they brought in old toys, unwanted toys, and they did a toy sale in school, which was amazing. The school was so supportive. So I've got a photograph of her holding her check, and they raised £90 for each of their charities.
Wow.
And I'm just so proud because, that's huge for us. She's doing it for her sister.
Lovely.
Fab. And my little 2.5-year-old, Millie, with Down syndrome. And again, it's something that would seem small to some people. It's massive to us. She started to say woof. She loves dogs. And for children with Down syndrome, speech can take a little bit longer. uses Makaton signing, which is just amazing. But she's actually saying woof. So I'm like,
Brilliant.
very proud mum.
Amazing. I love it. And we always say celebrate the wins. And celebrating the wins is a massive thing, of especially in little people, telling them that they're amazing and celebrating those wins as we go through things, it's just
or adults who are made up when they haven't fallen over in a week or something. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Adults are on a win now. You've got no bruises.
No, I'm all right. Yeah, the car crash bruise has gone off my face, and the fall has gone off my face, and the scab. So I'm winning.
Genius. Okay, so we have a success ourselves this week. Something that you've achieved personally, or a little success for you that's been amazing. Anything like that. Do you want to go? Do you want to go first, Sam?
Well, I'll go first. A few little things, work-wise that I'm really delighted with. Some work we're doing with some special clients and everything. But I just had on Saturday evening, we went round to Marie's house, and a mother-in-law does not speak a word of English, and she's over for the month and everything. And my son speaks a bit of Italian. I speak Italian. So we sat at the table and I said, come on, let's speak in Italian for it. And I sat in the whole evening, and it was lovely that my son spoke Italian, because I've never sat and heard him speak Italian like that, had a conversation. So we had the whole dinner and we just spoke Italian all evening, and it was just a lovely evening. Just sat at the dinner table, had a long meal and just chatted, and it was just lovely. And I really
amazing.
Just a nice experience, I was dead proud of him. So that was that.
Brilliant. That's a massive. So Rebecca Jane Sloman's listening in, and she says, "My amazing cousin Claire. Well done, MK. So caring. Millie is an absolute star. We love our amazing girls."
Thank you.
That's gorgeous. So big shout out, and thank you to Rebecca for listening in.
Oh, thank you.
Mel, have you had a success this week for you?
I don't know whether this counts. I would probably say surviving parenthood for the last 5 days while my husband's had a bad back. It's like never ever getting better. I've never rubbed so much Voltarol to someone's back the last 5 days. I'm like, surely this is going to improve. Surely it's going to improve. And obviously we're with Bobby and Eddie. They're very, very active. The climbers. They like to be eating everywhere. So you have got to be in like 10 rooms at the same time. It is sometimes like Mission Impossible. And he has a bad back. So the fact that he's now back at work today, and after 5 days, I'm like, what has actually just happened? I feel like that's an accomplishment just in itself, especially with my two with my two kids. Like, oh my god. But yeah, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything else.
I can,
but definitely, I feel like I've had a daily gym workout. Put it that way. So surely that's an achievement, isn't it?
Achievements. Well done. Perfect. What about you, Claire? Success this week for you?
I wanted to say, first of all, she's selling herself short there. Mel has achieved loads recently. She's worked tirelessly on the Instagram pages, the social media for Down Syndrome Liverpool, for some of the upcoming events. They're massive successes. So,
brilliant. We're looking forward to hearing all about that in a minute. I can't wait.
Yeah.
What about you, Claire? For something for you, just a little success?
Today, actually, obviously being World Down Syndrome Day, and being able to share that in school, because I work in a school.
Yeah.
And we took part in World Down Syndrome Day. All of the children came in their bright, colourful, vibrant socks. The teachers joined in. And shout out to all of them, because I think they're listening in. And I did a PowerPoint explaining Down syndrome, child-friendly language for all of the classes, pictures of Millie celebrating everything that she can do. And that went down really, really well. And I just think that was a massive success, because, even if we've educated one of those children about inclusion, acceptance, then it's kind of job done, really. So I'm really, really proud of them all for that today.
Oh, we've got the messages
Welcome
coming
to
through
you.
tonight, Claire. We've got Lisa. Lisa said, so proud of our Claire, dedicated mum and teacher, and Senko. I do remember speaking to you now.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
And Alison says you're amazing, Claire. We're listening in. And Lisa says, then Lisa's on fire tonight. Amazing, inspirational role model. There you go.
Oh, as is she. Thank you.
Oh, and Rebecca put this was quite funny. She said, geez, there's nothing worse than a bad back, especially a man having a bad back. No,
Oh, yeah.
that's for everyone. Yeah.
Brilliant. Amazing. So my success this week was, so as people know, I'm looking for a team to take over to Saudi Arabia for 6 weeks. And I have met some phenomenal young people. I've been on the phone to phenomenal young people. And some of these are like 22, 19, 24. And they just like, sometimes young people get a little bit of a bad rep and things. These people who I've been speaking to, they're like dedicated. They're putting themselves out there. I asked a young man yesterday, I said, why do you want to go to Saudi? What appealed to you about the opportunity? And he said, I've never been like out the country. He said, and it's just something. And he said, my mum's always looked after me and hasn't sort of wanted him to go. And now he's in uni and his mum sort of said, like, go. And he's got epilepsy. And he was saying, like, he's happy to share and talk about it and things. And I thought, these young people they're on another level. They're absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to say, like, my success is meeting all these young people and being inspired by them. Yeah,
brilliant. Fantastic.
Okay, so we've had some amazing successes. We're going to learn loads more about Mel and Claire and DSL's successes as we go on. But first, we played this or that. But I think what we're going to do, San, is we'll just do 2 each because I'd rather have more time.
What we've got to say, yeah, definitely good shout. Okay, I'll go first then, shall I?
Okay.
So this month, we are sponsored for this month by KCFM Kitchen Cleaning and Facilities Management. So we've been doing a couple of cleaning related ones each week. So I'll go first for Mel.
Okay.
And this is the same question for everybody. Would you rather abseil and clean windows on the outside of a building or jet wash the walls?
I would definitely prefer to jet wash the walls. I don't know what it is about jet washing. There's something quite therapeutic about jet washing. Obviously, it gets things clean. It's so fast. It's so powerful. I think it's always helpful if you can put like a pair of buds in your ears, listen to some music, and just consider it as a bit of therapy rather than actually cleaning. Obviously, it sounds fun, the abseil, especially if you're a bit of an adrenaline junkie. But I would much prefer to maybe stand in the one spot and jet wash something clean. Yeah, I do find it like so therapeutic, a jet wash. I don't know what it is. It's so relaxing, I think.
Loads of people have said that, haven't they, that they find it therapeutic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What about you, Claire?
Abseil, adrenaline junkie.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's our first abseil.
Yeah.
I don't know about the cleaning bit, but, the abseil sounds fun.
Wow, well done.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with jet washing. What about you, San?
Same. Okay, go on, Hel.
Okay. Would you rather hoover or polish, Claire?
Oh, hoover. If you can get nice straight lines in the carpet, then that's quite rewarding, isn't it?
Like a lawn.
Yeah, like polishing it. It's a little bit thankless because nobody really can tell. If I'm going to clean, I want people to notice.
Yeah. What about you, Mel?
Yeah, same. I agree. Definitely hoover lines is, definitely an accomplishment when you see them lines. Plus, do people even polish anymore? Like, polish is the worst thing ever. Like, it smells like so strong. It takes your breath away. Surely it's not healthy. I definitely think hoovering is the best option.
Yeah.
What about you, San?
Well, it's good to hoover because you get a quick result and it looks better immediately. I try to avoid the lines, so I go like that, so it's just all smooth. I'm not into lines at all on the carpet. I like to polish. Yeah. I don't spray loads though, like you were saying. I'll just literally dust, but once in a blue moon is polishing. So stuff like silver, things like that. That's like a 6 monthly thing, polishing silver.
That's good.
Polishing your soup tureen.
Hey, me soup tureens. That's another story. The Mickey that is taken out of me over my soup tureens.
What is that?
There you go.
It's
What-
a thing you put soup in with a lid, and it's got a gap, and you've got the thing like that.
That's what I've just been thinking. It depends on what type of like stuff. I mean, our house consists of like IKEA stuff and things out of home sense that you probably wouldn't even need to polish. It's all
Well,
cheaper quality stuff than what you've got.
my life's a bit like that as well now, but it didn't used to be. But I still have some silver tucked away.
Yeah,
Yes, so I used to have loads of stuff in a display cabinet and polish it all and everything, but I don't now. And you know what? I
Because
don't
you've got better things to do with your
live
time.
my life. It's true. Right, Hoover then, the mother of God. Right.
No, I'd rather polish. I love the smell of polish.
I love
Oh no.
I love the smell of polish. So I'd rather polish things. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, last one, San.
Go on then. Right. Simple Minds or Depeche Mode?
Oh, we're too young.
To be fair, I was thinking on Simple Minds, but I was like, Depeche Mode. Who is Depeche Mode? I probably know the songs.
I was listening to you today when I was working. I was on the computer doing a translation. I've been doing a translation for hours today. And I had it on in the background.
Have a little think of another one while I do mine, okay?
I'm more of like I'll know the song when it's on, 100%, but I never ever know who sings it.
Same,
Ever.
yeah.
Right, I've changed my
Think of another one.
I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted. Okay, then.
Alison's in hysterics. Alison Heverside's got laughing, but she says Simple Minds.
Thank you, Alison. Right. The Eurovision Song Contest or the Five Nations Rugby Tournament?
Eurovision.
Also Eurovision, definitely. Even though we usually get nil points, apart from last time was the best. Yeah.
It's gonna be like Sesame Street. One of these kids is not like the other because we've got 4 boxes here. Okay.
The Rugby World Cup final. Hands down.
I knew you were going to go. Eurovision, hands down. Has anybody got a ticket?
No.
Peter Lloyd says has to be Eurovision, laughing faces. Lisa Grant says, I don't think Claire knows them.
Well, that's
She's right.
I could see it dead funny because you said it and everyone's faces went.
You know what? I thought it was a brilliant question. Well, that's different than something.
Genius. Okay. I'm going to do the very last one. Okay. Socks or tights? Sandra.
Right. Woolly tights in winter are fantastic and you feel snuggly when you put them on. Okay. I like them, like thick black woolen ones that are toasty with a skirt and boots or something like that. But in normal everyday life, a pair of little socks or something with trainers. I've got socks on today with trainers. And interestingly enough, by accident, I've got odd socks on because they're different shades. It wasn't intentional. It just sort of happened.
Well done. What about you, Claire? Socks or tights?
Socks. Yeah, definitely socks. And if they're your brightest,
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
even better.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, tight.
Maybe socks, yeah.
Get
What
too
about
hot
you,
in
Mel?
tights.
I'd definitely say socks. Like, I love tights. I love the way tights look. And I do occasionally wear them, same in the winter. But I'm yet to find a pair that is like actually comfortable, or no, a pair that doesn't itch.
I
I
love
always
them
find, oh yeah, I put them
too.
tights on. It must have been like a couple of months ago when it was a bit nippy, and I was like, oh, I need a pair of tights. I've got a pair somewhere in that drawer. And I put them on, and I was like, they don't seem to fit right. And you had a pair of maternity tights. Put on, they were like, the tights were all fitting in the wrong places. I was like, can't be no, like, what are they? But obviously they were maternity tights, so they just kind of went back in the drawer. But yeah, I can never find a comfortable pair. But yeah, I'm socks, trainee socks to be precise. I never really wear full size socks, trainee socks.
Yeah, socks for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So the reason I put the socks in is we do odd socks for Down Syndrome Day. I'm really, really delighted that Mel and Claire have given their time up. I know how busy they are, in their full-time jobs and everything else and looking after their families, but they also are on the board for DSL, so Down Syndrome Liverpool. So I know Shauna, and I've been like really, really lucky to work with Shauna a few times. So Shauna is an amazing, amazing young role model who has achieved phenomenal things. For those who follow my social media, Shauna's the one who carried the torch. She's on Hollyoaks every time you put the telly on. She's amazing. His school teacher said that she was a health and safety hazard and she couldn't go swimming when she was young, which is horrendous. Imagine being told that your kid's health and safety. And then she went off and she won golds all over the world, silvers, bronze. She's still competing swimming now, you know, and she's absolutely phenomenal. So I feel really lucky that I know Shauna. I saw her last week when she was going into Calderstones to her little job, and we had a little chat outside. So yeah, she's just cool. So I want to say a massive thank you to Claire and Mel. I'm going to hand it over to you both to explain what Down Syndrome Liverpool is, how you both got involved, your story behind it, what's coming up. Sandra and I will just probably stop and ask questions at the same time on the same question, because we always do that. So I'm going to hand it over. So thank you so much to Claire and Mel for joining us tonight. So
thank you.
Take it away.
Claire, do you want me to start? Or?
Yeah, come on, Mel, you go.
Okay. So Down Syndrome Liverpool is our local charity within Liverpool that supports all local individuals with Down syndrome and their families. So we do a range of different things. So we will organise events, we will do speech and language sessions, we will do weekly football sessions, basically be there as one big family of support for local parents and individuals with Down syndrome. Now, Down Syndrome Liverpool has been around for a good while. So I've personally been a trustee for the last 4 years. So my eldest, Bobby, is 5 now, so I became a trustee when he was 1. But the charity has been around for, actually, next year is Down Syndrome Liverpool's 21st birthday. So we're going to be having a 21st birthday ball next year to celebrate that. So it's been around a long time, and we're obviously getting so many new families that are joining us all the time. And as fundraising increases, we're able to offer more services and more lines of support for local families. But I first became a trustee, I'd say 4 years ago after I had Bobby, because I think within that first year, I just realised that from hospitals, there is not much signposting available. In fact, to be perfectly honest, it's like non-existent across the city in hospitals as to where to go. And I think it was about when Bobby was about 3 months old that I'm quite proactive. So I was a bit like on Google, where'd you go to? There must be local support available, because Bobby was a postnatal diagnosis. So it was kind of, I was almost thrown into a world I knew absolutely nothing about. And I am that kind of person that needs to know everything about everything. So I was a bit like, where do you go? What's available? And then it was then that I discovered Down Syndrome Liverpool. And within that first year, realised how really valuable having that support network and really foundations to begin with, to be with, like, me and my family for the journey ahead kind of thing. And then it was only then I became passionate about, you know what, actually I would like to join the charity and try and help shape the future really for for babies that are not even born yet, and obviously your young ones and adults and stuff like that. And even though things were different a good while ago, and there's always been like negative associations with anything Down syndrome related, I think unless people work together and try to change things moving forward, we're never ever going to see change. And I think you can only try and contribute to that. So it was that made me want to join the charity and try and help others. But I'm predominantly the new parents and carer, new parents and expectant parent lead for the charity. So we're kind of always meeting with families weekly and being that first point of call, because I think all too often people are handed like piles of really outdated literature of all like negative facts and figures, but actually people just want a conversation with someone, say, you know what, actually it's going to be okay, and they just want a normal conversation. They don't want all the facts and figures. So I think Down Syndrome Liverpool for many families have been that real saviour
And of course, because you can share your experience. So they're speaking to someone, and as you said, for you it was postnatal, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you can talk through your experience with them, because there'll be some people who are in your shoes, you know, and you can say, yeah, it happened to me. And to speak to another person who sort of got it all, appears to have it all together to them, and is a trustee of the charity now, and has gone through the same thing, can be really inspiring somebody, and you know, a massive support to them.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people think you're a certain type of person if you've got a child with Down syndrome, and I'm sure with any additional need really, that you look a certain way and you act a certain way, but actually I'm just the most normal person you can ever meet. And I think sometimes it's a bit of a relief when new parents meet up. I always prefer seeing people face to face and just having a normal conversation, even if it's not Down syndrome related, just a normal conversation, to be like, you know, this is the charity, it's what we have to offer, and just kind of have a normal everyday conversation. I think nowadays that's all people want, and they can kind of be introduced to facts and figures and different things as and when they really need to. And it's important them first moments to just enjoy, because you can never get that time back. But the charity is amazing for building them initial foundations, and obviously moving forward as you go into adulthood. But there are plenty of events and stuff moving forward. But yeah, that's how I became a trustee, which is very exciting.
So how did you become a trustee, Claire?
So it's a similar situation to Mel, in that we had a postnatal diagnosis for Millie. It wasn't a good experience at all. It was kind of surrounded by negativity. It wasn't this great celebration. And I know now that comes from all of the negative perceptions that are out there. People are sad for you because, you know, they don't really understand it. And I spent a long time kind of just feeling very alone. I have got the most amazing support network and family and friends, but they've not been in my shoes. And what I really needed was I needed another mum who knew. It was about a year before I actually had the courage to go along. You know, a midwife had mentioned to me about Down syndrome Liverpool. My first reaction was, you know, I can't do it. I just felt so vulnerable. But made that step. And I remember walking into the room, into the toddler group on a Friday morning, to be greeted by Mel, you know, who just put me at ease right away. I walked in, Mel came over, introduced herself, and I looked around the room. And again, it was that kind of, wow, these people are just normal people, normal families who are all kind of quite relaxed, chatting together and supporting each other. That became then, you know, the thing to look forward to, a lifeline. And you do become kind of another family, you know, it's your DS family. Any questions, any worries, you talk them through together. And it's a bit like you don't need to fear anything that you say. Somebody there has felt that way themselves. So you go from being in this lonely world on a path that you know nothing about and you're absolutely terrified about, to being in with people who just get you and they just understand and they help you find the positives. And there are so many. You know, I look now, I think I wouldn't change Millie for the world. And I've now got a whole new group of friends who've become like another family. And it's just so nice. So then for me, I wanted to give something back. And, you know, I've spoken to Mel about becoming a trustee. And I thought, yeah, you know, I've got so much from this. I need to be able to give something back and to help other people. The other trustee, you know, everybody works so hard. And I just wanted to be a part of that, really. And, you know, I'm proud to say that I am. And there's so many things coming up in the future. And it's nice to be able to be a part of that. And, you know, it's exciting.
And where's the charity located?
Okay, so the charity is everyone works from home, to be honest. So quite often, especially lately, come towards World Down Syndrome Day, we've had a few people get in touch saying, "Oh, where is your office? And we'd like to come and visit, or we'd like a tour." You know, for our team from particular companies and stuff like that. And we don't actually have an office, like a hub as such. Everyone works from home. So anything people do is kind of either on this kitchen table where I am now, or you're kind of in the bedroom or wherever is convenient. So we will always meet up on a monthly basis, sometimes in just any random venue really that's got office space for our monthly meetings. But actually everyone works from home, so it's all Liverpool based, but all separate locations, to be honest.
All right, okay. So they just know where to meet up at different places.
Yeah.
I understand. Oh, fantastic.
Joe Evans is listening in, and Joe Evans has sent some little hearts. And Chris Mills, which is, I think it's Michelle, and she says, so proud of my beautiful sister. There you go.
Oh, thank you. I haven't told the whole world about this, honestly.
I know.
Oh, well, you don't know what happens, Claire, because people come on our show. Next minute, they're on Radio Merseyside, they're on national radio. We're responsible for the immense success of many people.
The trajectory to stardom, aren't we, Sam?
Yeah. Sorry, I just had a quick question, Helen. Me and Helen will have loads of questions for you. So I actually have 4 friends who have children with Down syndrome. 3 of which I used to fly with in the airlines years ago. 1 from Monarch and 2 from British Airways, and another girl was a teacher who I did my teacher training with. And my mum actually used to teach people, adults with learning difficulties, predominantly people with Down syndrome, in the end at St Helens College before she retired. And she did that for 10 years. And the only thing I ever hear from people is about the actual love they get and how immensely loving their relationships are. And everyone's an individual. I know all people aren't the same. But that is something I've never met anybody without a child with Down syndrome or who's had a sister who hasn't said that. That's been like the number one thing they've said about how loving they are, and you know what a positive experience they've had for it. And you touched on something before, Mel, and you said about negative connotations and about doom and gloom and things like that. And I wanted to sort of ask how you handle that, really. You know, because presumably you want to try, and with World Down Syndrome Day, it's about educating people to the reality of what it is like for a child or to be with a child with Down syndrome, as opposed to the assumptions people make.
Yeah, of course. What I would say is so many people, and sometimes it's because people genuinely don't know, but they've never been in a situation where they have to know. And I'll be perfectly honest, before Bobby was born, I was pretty much the same. Unintentionally, you do almost become ignorant to that kind of thing, because depending on your lifestyle or depending on family or whatnot, you don't have to know certain things. So I think that was more of a shock when Bobby was born, because I knew absolutely nothing about it. But soon after, you realise, because you kind of have no choice to learn these things, and how people with Down syndrome usually are, and how they're perceived to be and whatnot. But every person with Down syndrome is totally individual, and there's so many people that assume that all young people and adults are have the same ways, whether it be the personalities or, for example, the mobility or anything. But actually, they're all totally different in terms of being happy and loving and stuff like that. Like, so many people, my Bobby's a smiler, so they're always like, oh, he's always so jolly, he's always so happy, and he is, but he's also a typical 5-year-old. So he does still have emotions. He still, some days, can't be bothered, he's not in the mood, and he will have little tantrums just like any other child. He is loving and stuff like that. Sometimes it's because he doesn't understand negativity, if you know what I mean. So even if he was in an environment that he wasn't really fussed on, he would kind of not understand the environment, so it'd appear that he was still happy even if he wasn't. It's funny you should say that, because recently a lot of people have said that to you. Bobby's always so happy, and I was like, he is, and I'm glad that he appears to be smiley. But there are days, just like any person really, where they have emotions just like anyone else. But I think I particularly had a bad experience where I've been out and anyone has passed comments and stuff like that. But I think you just take it as it comes and just use it as more of a perfect opportunities to be able to educate others rather than being like, how dare you say that, blah, blah, blah. To just try and educate as much as possible. And I think that's all you can do, because it's life, isn't it? You're going to come into contact with different people, and people have different beliefs, different understanding, and it just depends. But unless you're kind of in that type of community, or have got any connection to it, it's very, very hard sometimes for people to just understand, like, how individuals are and how certain things can make us as parents feel.
And it's
so
like,
I'd like to, sorry, San, I'd just like, because there's loads of people commenting. So Kelly Hughes, Kelly Hughes says, 2 amazing ladies representing a wonderful charity. Rebecca Jane Sloman's back on. Amazing. And she says, Claire and Mel are both so amazing girls. So thank you for that. Jan Railton, I know Jan Railton's a teacher in St. Mary's, and she says, can teachers access the group? So can teachers access Down Syndrome Liverpool?
Yes, they certainly can. So Down syndrome, we have certain groups, like we have a Facebook page, which is an open Facebook page, which is one that we will have is able to share with any businesses, other charities, teachers and stuff like that. But Down Syndrome Liverpool is there not just to support individuals with Down syndrome and the families, but actually professionals, anyone really, that, because we have so many schools and stuff that will contact us all the time for advice and certain things. If we can't answer the questions, we'll always give advice on where we might be able to help. But yeah, of course, definitely, professionals can contact us.
Yeah, amazing. And we'll post all of the links and things like that. We're talking about educating people about Down syndrome and things like that. I'd like to sort of go back a little bit to what Down syndrome is, and why today is World Down Syndrome Day, because there's a reason. So just to educate people about what Down syndrome is, how it affects certain people, and how people, before, Claire, you said you did this amazing presentation and all the little people loved it today and were really absorbed. And I hope that one of them goes home, and when somebody at home says, what have you learned today, they'll then be able to pass the knowledge on. So some maybe some little snippets that we can share, and we've got a little bit of I think it was before when Mel said, if you meet a person with Down syndrome, you meet a person with Down syndrome. A lot of people think that about, like, children with autism and stuff like that. You've met one, because everybody's slightly different and things like that. So if you could just explain to us, Claire, like, how Down syndrome, what it is, and how it affects people and families and things like that, just to educate a few people.
Yeah. Okay. So Down syndrome is a chromosomal difference, and it's basically just, it's an extra copy of the 21st chromosome, and it's not something. I mean, when we teach to the children, we talk about how it's not something that you catch, and it's something that you're born with, and it's something you will always have. And that, that basically it just means that you might look different. We also tell them that, although there might be some physical characteristics that are the same amongst children with Down syndrome, they are more like their families than they are each other. And it kind of, as we're teaching about Down syndrome to children, we're also including, other things, autism, cerebral palsy. We're saying everybody's different, and that's okay. And so for us, I mean, I didn't know anything about Down syndrome at all until Millie was born. And to be honest, you're learning all the time. But the message there is that it's just an extra chromosome. It just makes it might take you a little bit longer to learn some things, but you will get there in the end. When Millie was born, there were so many people who told me everything that Millie wouldn't do. Millie, and my answer to that every time was, but she might. Yeah, and then that gave me more determination, because she will now, because you said that. And and she every day she amazes us. She just learns new things. She did crawl after someone had said she wouldn't. She did walk after I was told, she could be 4 or 5 before and she doesn't talk, but that's coming. She uses sign language, so she communicates. It's about understanding that, it's just a different way. It's no better or worse. It's different. and you get there, but it just might take a little longer or on a different path. And that's kind of how we presented it to the children today as well, because children are very accepting, they're very understanding. They don't notice, at a young age, they don't really notice anybody's different, but teaching them now at this young age to accept one another and that it's okay to be different, obviously that goes with them, and it's such an important age to be able to educate children moving forward. Because although times have changed, things have moved on, there's still such a lot more work to be done. There's so much more awareness raising to do, which is why it's great to be part of DSL and kind of making those changes and making a difference.
Definitely. So Kelsey Bimson's listening, and she says, well done, guys, for raising awareness. She's very proud of you. And Alison Heaviside says, Millie is amazing. She lights up the room when she comes to our school, and she makes our day. Amazing.
She does. She does. Yeah. And there's also an association with kinds of age. You think that it's older parents. And again, that's not always the case. It can be any age that you have a child with Down syndrome. So it's just we've got to teach people the reality of life, of children with Down syndrome can achieve amazing things. Look at Shauna, look at so many others, and the Irish man who's just got an award for his film.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he was the first one to win an Oscar, isn't he? And also there's is the young lad on CBeebies, is his name George?
Yeah, George Webster. We've got his book. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So George has done a post today, and he's done a poem about Down syndrome and things. And he was on Strictly Come Dancing, the Christmas special as well. And I think it's, the more people see people with Down syndrome achieving, the more people see anybody with any additional need, and I think achieving, the more accepting that people become. Lisa Grant says the children were so inspired today, Claire. So that's good. We love that.
That's what we want. Thank you.
Amazing. So part of you were talking about football and activities and things like that. How do people access the activities if they want to access activities?
Okay, so we do a couple of regular activities. So some of our big events, which we'll talk about in a bit, are just kind of scattered throughout the year. But regular events definitely are Saturday morning football. So Saturday morning football is just on a turn-up basis. It's nothing that has to be pre-booked, because obviously people do have different commitments, and as life goes, sometimes there can be illness, appointments, or other plans. So we try and make it as realistic as possible for our families, where they can just turn up as they go. So our Saturday morning football is always at St. Julie's School on a Saturday morning, 9:30 till 10:30. There are details of all of this on our social media, because obviously it's a lot of information for people to remember, but it's every Saturday morning, 9:30 till 10:30. What we do is offer first of all, like a taster session, just to see how the kids are, whether they tolerate it well, whether they enjoy it, and if they're ready for that kind of thing. We always say from age 4 upwards, but age 4 seems like really young, but we do have it up to adults that, adult age that will come. It just depends on the children and young people that kind of grouped accordingly. But we have a taster session at first, just to see how they are at first, whether they enjoy it, and then just have like a £10 fee for a block of 5 sessions, but they can just be taken as and when, which is really, really reasonable. What we tend to advertise it by is just letting families know that it just gives the young people routine. So every Saturday they're at football. Obviously you've got the fitness aspect, so it's keeping our young people fit, as well as an opportunity for parents and carers to meet, have a little bit of a chat, and it's, as I say, it's 1 hour session, but it's that routine consistency, and for our young ones to feel like the part of a team. That's when they get together, working towards, building the skills, not just building the football skills, but also the social skills as well, to help our conversation, and you can see a massive difference with some of our young people that have been going for a long time. They may have started and they were, they lack confidence and things like that, and then now they're a lot more willing to communicate, and as the confidence has grown, so have they, the way they present themselves and stuff like that. So yeah, our football is a real biggie. Our other event that it's more of a regular group that we have, is our monthly parents and toddler group. The monthly parents and toddler group is super, super important. So we have that every single month, usually on a Friday, unless it's a half term, and it's at Family and Friends Play Centre in Prescott. Loads of details both on our website, as well as across our socials as well. And that's just an opportunity, 2 hours long, 10 till 12, and an opportunity for parents to connect, parents to get together, chat, ask advice, have a cup of tea, have a rant if need be, as well as the children. And being realistic, because that's kind of it is what happens sometimes. People just, it's an opportunity to be able to get together in an environment where it's non-judgmental and people are understood. So we do that every single month, and we have expecting parents who come to that group, as well as new parents up to the age of 5 as well. So it's a good opportunity for our young families, definitely, to get together.
And a mutually supportive network. Well, what we'll do is we'll share all the links.
Amazing. I'm just looking for the link now. So it's just downsyndromeliverpool.org.uk.
Yeah,
I'm just going to type that. That's what I was looking for.
All of that. And then when you do posts and things, we'll share them on our page so people can follow it and everything. It's amazing what you do. And so is it all voluntary, all the work that you guys do?
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's for the love of it, isn't it, Mel?
It certainly is. It's all the trustees. I say I've been a trustee for 4 years. Claire's been a trustee for the last year. But there are other trustees in the team. We're a team of 9. And there are other trustees that have been trustees from the get-go. So we're talking 21 years. So a lot of hard work, commitment, dedication has always been there to try and change things for the better, and always improving all the time. But I just think it is voluntary, and people do it around the full-time jobs, as well as the busy home lives, and we've all got children with additional needs, as well as siblings and stuff like that. So it's a lot to take on, but I think if you see how much it impacts, you get the job satisfaction, if you like, out of doing it.
How do you guys fund it? How do you fund these activities and things?
All of our activities, whether it be our regular groups or our bigger events, is entirely built on fundraising.
Right.
So fundraising alone is entirely detrimental to the services that we can offer. So if we are lacking in fundraising, then the services that we offer to families will also be lacking. Luckily, we have had loads and loads of really, really generous donations recently. We're always kind of eager to get more people on board and offer big events where we can really, really utilize the fundraising opportunities to be able to offer more and more service and support lines for our families in general. But yeah, we rely wholly on fundraising. We've had a lot going on with Wales Down Syndrome Day with fundraising. We've got some of our members doing skydives, which Claire, actually, we might have to set one up for abseil since you
choose the venue. I'm there.
I've got that on my list here to add to. But yes, so we've had some really, really adventurous fundraising going on recently. Even when it comes to Wales Down Syndrome Day, everyone kind of tends to step it up a little bit more. So it'll be fun. It'll be fundraising for skydives, for marathons. It could be like a cake sale, loads of different things, just general donations from friends and family. It can be across the board, to be fair. The list can go on. But as a charity, we rely wholly on fundraising and donations to be able to function.
I've got an auntie and a cousin who is running a marathon soon as well, family.
Ooh,
so, we do get a lot from family as well. And they're always trying to be creative in how they can try and fundraise for
Amazing.
us. So it's
Fantastic.
nice.
Yeah, brilliant. So we have got about 5-ish minutes before we then move on. So I want to know what the big events that are coming up that people can get involved with, what for the next coming things.
Yeah, brill. So we've got our next big event is Family Fun Day. So we have got Family Fun Day on Sunday the 21st of March, which is at Liverpool Irish Centre.
May.
That will be 4 hours, 12 till 4. May, 21st of May. Sunday 21st of May, 12 till 4. And it will consist of loads and loads of activities. So it'll be like face painting, bouncy castle, hook a duck, cake sales, loads and loads of different activities on offer there, loads of things for families to do. So that is open to everyone. So a few of our events are usually for Down syndrome Liverpool members only. So that will be things that we have going on like Yellow Sub, Christmas parties and stuff like that, where we close it off to just charity members. But the Family Fun Day is open to absolutely everyone. So families from anywhere really, whoever is willing to travel. So we've got flyers that have been handed around and advertising it really well over social media and stuff like that. But yeah, that is on Sunday the 21st of May, 12 until 4. Fingers crossed we get some sun. Otherwise, the bouncy castle will be like a swimming pool. The kids will probably still love it. So yeah, there'll be loads going on, but that is our next biggie event that we've got.
So I've just posted
the Irish
that.
Centre.
People can get involved with maybe like raffle prizes or donations, or if they wanted to give their time or something like that to support, maybe like helping set up or anything like that. If anyone wants to get involved, is there anything like that?
Do you want to go for it?
Yeah, we're asking at the moment, aren't we, for help with any donations, unwanted gifts. So we're hounding everybody to get those to us. And it's at the Liverpool Irish Centre on West Derby Road. So if anybody wants to get in touch with any nice donations, that would be amazing. We'd be very grateful.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So we will share all the details of all your Facebook pages that people can access, and people can get in touch with the website, and if they get in touch with us, we can share the information and things like that. So I want to say a massive thank you. What you're doing is amazing, and the impact that you're having on other people's lives, but also I think when it comes from real life experiences, people accept it a little bit more, don't they? And sometimes, as you said, Claire, you were really worried about going the first time. What would be your advice to a parent?
Just take that step, be brave, go for it, because there's a whole, world of support out there. And I can't stress that enough, because I would have just buried my head in the sand for a little while longer. If anybody understands, it's those other families that are there waiting to support you. So you just put yourself out there, take the step, definitely.
Amazing. Mel, have you got any advice that you'd give to a parent who's possibly thinking about coming?
Yeah, pretty much just mirroring what Claire just said. Really, just take that first step. As a charity, we are super approachable. It's going to be non-judgmental, because I think sometimes people worry about what's it going to be like and how are people going to judge me. But everyone is in the same boat, and you couldn't be in more of an environment where you are totally understood. So I think once you've made that first step, you'll never ever look back. And I often say to new members, like, you don't realize how much free, you never get anything for free these days, how much free support is on your doorstep from people who are so valuable. And it is, as Claire just said, it is literally just other families. I always say, like, I from when I first joined Down Syndrome Liverpool, just as a member before trustee, the trustee role even started, and I met a group of friends, and they were all in the same boat at the time. We were all a bit like, what kinds of what's this going to be like? What do we expect? And they are a group of my closest best friends, and I always say, like, they're friends for life. And if it wasn't for the charity, I would never have that support network. Like, I have so many different friends and family members, but only have like a select few who quite understand. So if I has a bit of a query or a bit of like I can literally, I have a group where I can just send a message in there and I know straight away I'm going to have that support. And I think for new parents, it's definitely moving forward what you want. It's just invaluable. It totally is.
Definitely.
You can see you've got good people around you, though, by all the comments we've had, and just we have different last questions, but all like saying how amazing you are as
the best people around us, absolutely.
Down Syndrome Liverpool have put a little blue heart and a little yellow heart in. And then Alison Heaverside has said, you are 4 absolutely inspirational women who make the world a better place. So lucky to know you.
Thank you.
And Down Syndrome Liverpool have posted the Twitter handle and the Instagram handle. So thank you very much for that. Whoever's looking after that, thank you. So we do move on, okay, and we shout out. Oh, have you got any red faces? Anything slightly embarrassing that's happened?
My life.
I'm okay this week. I'm safe. What about you, San?
I'm all right, but there was something and I thought, oh, I'll leave that. It's not even that good after the falling flat on my face and then the other one the other week. That's just hilarious. No, we're all right. There was something, but it's escaped my mind. What about you, ladies?
Do you know what? Actually, I don't have anything, sadly.
You have no embarrassing moments, really.
That's quite good. That'll like be entertaining. I actually haven't got anything exciting that I could talk about. That's brilliant. I very hardly get embarrassed, to be fair. So I probably.
Oh, I'd love to imagine that.
What about you, Claire?
I'm sitting here terrified that one of my lovely friends is going to pop up with something. I'm bound to have said something embarrassing. Yeah.
I think we're all safe then. I think we've got a safe week, which is
amazing. We have some whoppers, us too.
We do. I think we'll probably have one next week, so won't we?
My favourite's the camping one for you, Hal. She was in the woods and just comes for walks, and this man opens a caravan door, not knowing she's there. It's in the middle of nowhere, and steps out stark as.
No.
5 o'clock in the morning. We were wild camping. 5 o'clock in the morning. Not a person round. Took the dog for a walk, and as I walked up, he just went like that and opened the door, and I went, "Morning,"
like it was all normal.
That's my favourite story.
He must have just been like that.
You've got loads. I've got loads as well, haven't I? But they're just shocking, honestly.
Shout out to the grown-ups, okay? Any grown-ups who've done amazing things this week.
Well, I'll go first because I've got my sweatshirt on.
Yes.
Around it. So just to Danny again, Danny de Brabant over the water, who's really he's up and down, isn't he? And he's had a dip again. But the work they're doing, the fundraising and helping people, random acts of kindness and everything, and he's living with, he's, terminally ill with bowel cancer, and he just keeps going and just helping everyone he can, and just massive shout out to him,
Yeah, massive shout out to him. Well done, Danny and team. What about you, Claire? Any shout out to any grown-ups?
I'm going to say all of my amazing workmates. They are just so incredibly supportive. They're always there. We're just like this amazing team of another
it's
family.
A lovely school, your school, though, because Helen and I have both been in there and work-wise, and it is a lovely school.
It is. It's fab, and the way they're so supportive of all of the stuff around Down syndrome and everything. Yeah. So it's all of them.
Brilliant.
Big shout out to everyone in St. Cecilia's. What about you, Mel? Any shout out to grown-ups?
Yeah, I would like to do a massive shout out to all the parents and carers within the SEM Wales. So I don't just mean within the Down syndrome community. I'm talking about every type of community. So obviously we've just had Neurodiversity Week recently, and as a parent and carer of a child with additional needs, it is tough. It is entirely tough. But it's just to let everyone know that you are amazing, and tomorrow is a new day. And I think sometimes people don't realise how hard it can be. It's very, very rewarding. Don't get me wrong, it's rewarding, and life is amazing. But there is no denying that it can be hard if it's not jumping through hoops for one thing, with the education or medical professionals, or trying to educate people. If it's not one thing, it's another. And I think parents and carers sometimes do not give themselves enough recognition. And don't get me wrong, some days I can be world's biggest warrior, and then other days absolute crumbling mess. But the next day, I just get up and keep on going, because that's just what we do as parents and carers. That is what we're born to do, really. But I think it's just a massive shout out to all parents and carers from every type of community, because it is hard, but tomorrow is a new day.
Definitely. And I'm going to give a shout out to you two, and to everybody at Down Syndrome Liverpool for raising awareness, for doing amazing things. You know, you are volunteers, and without volunteers, you know, things don't happen. And when somebody's got passion the way you both have, and have thrown yourselves in at the deep end and doing amazing things, as well as probably all the other trustees. And a shout out to all the trustees who've been trustees for 21 years, you know. It's an incredible feat, that. Yeah, so big shout out to everybody who's a volunteer or a trustee of a charity, because you are really making a difference to everybody. Okay, we are like slowly running out, or quickly running out, shall we say. So we always we always close with a positive quote. So a mantra or something like that people live by. So I don't know whether Down Syndrome Liverpool has one, or whether you both want to share one each, whatever you want to do. It's over to you guys to close the show.
You want to go
Down
now?
Syndrome Liverpool is all about joining hands and working together to make change. Basically, is like an overall mantra of Down Syndrome Liverpool. I would probably say, for me personally, I would say never take no for an answer. Anything is possible, as long as the right support is put in place. I would say, where there's a will, there's a way. Anything is possible, as long as the right support is put in place. It just might take that tiny bit longer, but you know, doesn't everything in life? You've got to, you get what you work for, don't you? So I think as long as the right support's in place, anything is possible. I never take
Brilliant.
What about you?
I'm going to say, it's not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's learning to dance in the rain.
Oh,
that's good.
I love it.
Brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much. You know what? It was the fastest show.
We haven't finished yet.
Well, we nearly have, but I honestly could listen to them for hours.
I know. So we're going to say thank you. We're going to say thank you to Claire, thank you to Mel, thank you to everybody at Down Syndrome Liverpool for doing amazing things. Massive thank you to Sandra, and we will see everybody next week.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thank you.